Welcome back to our series Vcarve Pro project. This pretty cool project here called chip carving. So we'll look a little bit more about what this process is and how to do this. And I'm going to show you how to make this custom design, and it's actually very easy to do. It looks complicated just by looking at it, but it's actually not too hard. I'll show you that in a bit here, but basically what chip carving traditionally is using, like carving knives, and you can chip away at wood and make all kinds of custom carvings. So you can look up chip carving online, and you'll find a lot of different examples and different techniques you can use for it. And you could chip away at wood and make all kinds of custom carvings. So you can look up chip carving online, and you'll find a lot of different examples and different techniques you can use for it. However, because we have CNCs, we're going to look at some techniques we can use for doing it on our CNCs. So I just want to introduce you that a little bit. So here is what it would look like once you carve it. And of course, this is just a design that I made up. You can make up any type of design you'd like with this process. And I would start out simple. This is actually considered a simple one. I'll show you. It's not that difficult to make. But once you get more comfortable with this, you can make these bigger and more advanced. And if you look at in the 2D view, this is all we have here. It's just a bunch of vectors. So I'm going to show you exactly how this is done step by step. So for your starters, we're going to start with a brand new project. So we're going to start out with a single-sided project. We're going to make it 12 by 12, but of course you can make it any size you like, and we'll make it 0.90 inch thick. We're gonna zero off of the material surface just so we get consistent depths with our toolpath, and it's probably going to be best if you zero off the center, at least for designing purposes. You can change the zero later when you make your toolpaths. But for designing purposes, we're going to be using the circular array copy tool. So it's easy if you have a nice 0 point right in the center. So that's all for the setup. We're going to click OK. You can use any of the draw curve or freehand draw tools to draw a line that looks like this. Now basically you're going to start from the bottom 0 point, and you're going to swoop out to the right and then swoop back to the left, and then swoop back somewhere crossing the center a little bit. Now, one thing I would recommend doing here, just doing some tests with this, so try to swing it out to the right a little bit farther and a little bit further to the left, and you should get a nice design in the end. Like I said, you can use the freehand draw tool, or in the new version, 12 and above, I believe, has the draw curve tool built into the draw line tool. Now, we have to make a mirrored copy of this, and we have to connect them together. So to do this, what you want to do is select the shape, go to the mirror tool. Make sure you click create a mirrored copy. You don't need to flip about job center turned on. However you can, if you wanted to, it wouldn't really affect it. And then we're going to click flip horizontal. And actually, it's probably going to be best if you do it that way, because now we don't have to move it because we have it centered there. So I think actually that would be best if you do football job center. And this is what you're after here, where both these lines overlap each other. And now with this created, you should have a little bit of overhang up here at the top as long as you went past the center. Now we just use the scissors, and we're going to keep that option turned off for now. And we're going to trim that top section off and click close. So this is what we should have so far. Okay, so now our next step would be to select those two curves we just made, and we're going to make a circular copy of it, and we're going to do 3 copies in 30-degree increments. So to do this, we're going to do is select those two lines. Right now there are two open vector lines. Select those two and go to the circular copy tool, which is in the offset and layout menu. If you set your 0 to be in the center, we're going to be at 0, 0. So we want that rotation center down here at the bottom. So 0, 0, make sure rotate copies is turned on for a number of items. We're going to do 3. And for the step angle, we're gonna select that and do 30 degrees. Make sure group copies are turned off. And now we're gonna click copy. And as you can see, it made a copy of those 3. And now we're gonna click close. So now we have 3 of those shapes in this area here. Using the scissor tool, we're going to cut away the curved parts until we only have unique polygons left. Make sure to uncheck the box in the scissor tool first, because I've found if you left that box checked, it gives you issues later when we go to the next steps. So as you could see, this is what we started with up here. Follow the steps as shown. So this is basically what we should be ending up with. So if you follow it along, it should have 1, 2, 3, 4 polygon shapes there. So like I said, that is going to be a little bit challenging part there. So let's click close. And let's take a look at our next step. And that's going to be to offset these lines. So like I said, you can, if you need more time with that step, you can play around with it. But basically, keep trying that until you get these 4 shapes left. Now, this offset section is going to create a little bit of a gap in between the shapes. And if we look at our final project, that's what we're after here. A little bit of a gap there. You can change this value if you wanted to make it smaller or bigger gaps. So now we are going to go and check the settings here. So we want to go on both sides of the line. We're going to delete the original lines, and we're going to make sure we create sharp offset corners. And the value is going to be 0.25 inches on both sides. And click continue anyway. And here is what we're left with. So as you can see, that gives us the gap in there. But now we had a little bit extra work to do to trim these all together. So that would be our next step, is to trim using the scissors until we only have closed polygons left. So you're going to have to zoom in and out a lot on this part. And to do this, we're going to use the scissor tool again. This time you want to make sure that box is checked. So these all join together as we're trimming them. We want to trim any of the overhangs like this. And then these outer lines you can trim as well. And then you're going to zoom into the next section here, trim away the overhangs and that little piece in between. And then just keep going along, trimming all these until you get every single one of these intersections. And this is what we should be left with at the end. Just 4 closed polygons. And no, you're going to click close. Now, as you can see, when we select these, they should all be closed. All right. However, you can double check this by right-clicking on your screen. Go to Vectors and click All Open. And you should get this message here, no open vectors in design. If you didn't get this message, it would select one of the open vectors or multiple of them. And you can use the Join tool to join them back together. So that is basically all the pieces we need to make our final design. And now the last step is where the design all comes together. So you want to select all the polygons. We're going to use a circular copy tool, and we're going to make 12 items, a total of 360 degrees. We're going to go back to our circular copy tool. Once again, the rotation center, we're going to set it to 0, 0. That will set it down in the center of our project. We're going to click rotate copies. We're going to do 12 items and a total angle of 360 degrees. And now we're going to click copy, and look at that. Now we have that complicated looking design just by creating one section of it and copying it all the way around. Now we're going to click close. This is basically everything you need now. Of course, you can customize this however you need to. You can change the shapes around, you can change the size, you can add more loops to it, or you can basically do anything you want to it. So lots of things you can do with this. But now we are ready for creating the toolpath. So to do this, we're gonna jump over to the toolpath side, and what I would recommend for this is the Vcarving toolpath. And for this, I would do no start depth if you want to carve right on the surface. And I would recommend no flat depth. That will make the bit determine the depth of the cut. Now you can use different angled V bits. I would recommend at least a 90-degree V bit for this because these large areas. And I would not use a clearance tool. We don't really need that. And that's basically it. Real simple toolpath. It's to make no start depth, no flat depth, 9-degree V bit, and that's it. Now we click calculate, and that would generate our toolpath. And now let's give this a preview. And as you can see, this V bit will now travel to the tips, making them all this V bit tip like this. And now we can change our global fill color just to give that a preview what it would look like, where you could do material color as well to see what it would look like cut into the material. As you can see, that's a really cool technique and not too complicated to make once you get the hang of it. So I would recommend definitely trying it out, adjusting settings if you need to, and playing around with the different techniques. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos.